All right, so today we're diving into a fear that, it hides in a place we all use every single day, the bathroom.
So, what is Ablutophobia really? Let's get into it. This is about going beyond just a simple dislike for bathing. Let's break down what this fear actually is and why it's so much more than what it might seem on the surface.
So the clinical definition is pretty clear. It's an intense and irrational fear of bathing, washing, or cleaning yourself. And the key words here are really intense and irrational. That's what's so crucial, because it's what separates a simple preference from an actual phobia. This isn't a logical choice someone's making. It's a powerful, completely involuntary reaction that triggers severe anxiety and distress. It literally hijacks a person's ability to do something as basic as taking care of themselves.
And this quote really just hits the nail on the head. It's more than just disliking showers, it's strong anxiety, panic, or distress. See? It's not about being lazy or having bad hygiene habits. It's about a powerful, involuntary response that triggers some really intense feelings of anxiety and panic.
Okay, so that leads to the big question, right? Where does a fear like this even come from? What's the root of it all? Well, the answer is usually pretty complex and, honestly, deeply personal. So let's explore some of the most common causes.
Right, so the first thing to get is that this fear doesn't just pop up out of thin air. For some people, it's tied to a past traumatic experience with water or bathing, something that just created this really powerful negative link in their brain. For others, it might be more of a sensory thing, like the actual feeling of water on their skin is just deeply, deeply uncomfortable. Then you've got learned fear. This can actually be picked up from seeing a parent or someone close to you have that same fear. And of course, sometimes it's a symptom of a broader underlying anxiety issue that's just manifesting in this very specific way.
So knowing the why is one thing. But what does it actually feel like to live with this phobia? I mean, day in and day out. The thing is, the struggle has two sides. There's the part that people on the outside might see, and then there's the much, much more intense battle happening on the inside.
And you can really see that disconnect here. On the outside, what someone might see is a person avoiding showers, maybe making excuses, or even appearing unhygienic. But the internal experience, that's a whole different story. We're talking intense panic, crying, a racing heartbeat, sweating. I mean, it's a full-blown physical and emotional storm. And understanding this huge gap between the two is really the key to having any kind of empathy here. Now, as intense and debilitating as all of this sounds, and it really is, there is good news. There is absolutely a path to treatment. Ablutophobia is treatable. With the right kind of support, people can and do overcome this fear and get their lives back.
So, how does treatment actually work? Well, it's usually an approach with a few different parts. First up, you have therapy. Things like cognitive or exposure therapy are huge here because they help people reframe that fear. Then there are relaxation techniques, things like deep breathing or mindfulness that give you tools to manage the anxiety when it hits. And especially for kids, creating supportive routines can be a game changer. Making bath time fun and positive helps build brand new, happy associations with water.
So let's wrap up with this thought. What can one person's very specific fear really teach all of us? I think when we learn about something like ablutophobia, it's not just about that one condition. It's a challenge, right? It challenges us to look past what we see on the surface and to think about the hidden battles that people might be fighting every single day. It's just a really powerful reminder to approach the struggles that we don't personally understand with a little more empathy and a whole lot less judgment.